I'm James Jimenez. I'm the current spokesman of the Commission on Elections. I've held this position for almost 17 years now. No, I think more than 17 years. Basically, I handle public relations for the Commission, which means I am the lead communicator of the electoral agency. So I talk to the media, I interface with the media, and I try to make sure that the COMELEC's position gets a fair shake in terms of news coverage, in terms of reportage of our activities. Over the years, I've sort of learned on the job. The four most important things that I've sort of distilled all of my experience into are: number one, you have to know the journalists. In the COMELEC, you see, it's a little easy because, syempre, we have a COMELEC beat. We have people who are normally already embedded in the Commission on Elections, meaning to say they report on the COMELEC and very little else. No? So it's easy for us to get to know them because we see them all the time. But in general, if you want to be an effective media relations officer, if you want to be effective at interfacing with the media, you have to know who the journalists you will be talking to are. So kailangan kilalanin nyo ano ang sinusulat nila, what their biases and predispositions are, most importantly. I remember one time, very, very early on in our drive towards automation, someone who was a writer who was very anti-automation received an email from, of all things, an automation provider. That was a very big misstep kasi yung PR ng automation provider, hindi niya alam or hindi siya aware na yung sinusulatan niyang journalist anti pala sa kanilang ginagawa, no? So that actually caused a lot of problems for that company. So big lesson learned: know the journalists, know what they write about, know what their predispositions and biases are, and this will allow you to decide sino ba yung magandang match para dito sa gusto kong ibigay na kwento. Okay? Number two, always add a personal touch. Remember, journalists are people and they will appreciate human connection. So make the effort, kilalanin nyo, know their first names, and if possible, what their interests are. For instance, one of the most famous reporters nowadays, no, is a Francophile. He loves French culture. He's an aspiring painter. Kapag nag-i-interview kami ganyan, one of the things that I can do to put him at ease with me is to start talking about French culture, talking about wine, for instance, or French movies, or in some cases, kumustahin ko, kumusta na yung hobby mo na painting? This puts people at ease, especially journalists, and they are more likely to pay attention to what you're saying if they feel na nakikinig ka rin sa kanila. Okay? So, add the personal touch in your interactions with journalists. Number three, always please use interesting and engaging language. Huwag kayong makontento doon sa official language ng press release. Tandaan ninyo, ang sinusulat ng mga journalists ay yung naririnig din nila. Kung ano yung sinabi mo sa kanila, yun at yun ang lalabas sa kanilang panunulat. If you rely only on the official language of, let's say, a memorandum that you're trying to report out, or if you're content with the press release that someone in the office wrote, medyo hahanapan nila ng anggulo yan. Hahanapan nila ng way of presenting the story that will make it more appealing to their audience. So, the best thing to do para makontrol mo yung labas ng storya, kung ano itsura ng storya paglabas, ikaw na mismo ang mag-provide ng anggulo. So, for instance, noong 2010 elections, people were blasting automation. They were saying that, automation is a bad idea, etc., etc. But there was a segment of the population na ayon sa pag-aaral, excited na masubukan yung automation. So instead of saying simply that 60% of people want to try automation, which is a cold, hard, and accurate figure, one of the things we said was, walang basagan ng trip. No? This is interesting and engaging language that communicated to the audience that some people wanted to do something, and that if they were being naysayers about it, binabasag nila yung trip ng iba. So this brought that information, 60% of people are in favor of automation, down to the level of a conversation that ordinary people could have, that ordinary people could relate to. Wala kasing basagan ng trip. And that became a soundbite, paulit-ulit yung plinay, no, during those times. And it was one of the things na I feel was directly helpful in getting public acceptance for automation in 2010. And then finally, create a chat room. Normally, what we use now is Viber. Viber is a very useful medium. Almost everyone has it on their phone, and you can use it. So what you do is you create a chat room and you put in all of the journalist friends that you want to be able to talk to. First of all, isang labas mo lang sa Viber, everyone gets it right away. Okay? Someone asks you a question, you can answer it on the chat room, and everyone gets the answer right away. Hindi ka na mahihirapan magpadala ng maraming papel sa maraming tao, no? At this moment, this is still considered an informal way of media relations, but it is a very effective way of media relations. And one added bonus with the Viber chat room, you can know exactly kung sino nang nakabasa nung sinulat mo. Okay? Basically, what happens is if you were to open a chat on Viber, you can long press on the chat and you'll see a pop-up that says info. So you click on info and the screen will display the names of everyone who had already read that message on their device. That way, walang magsasabi na, ay, hindi ko nabasa, or ay, hindi mo ako napadalan, because kitang-kita mo, meron kang proof, at least for your satisfaction, na nabasa nila at nakita nila yung gusto mong sabihin. So, these four things are very important in improving media relations. Siyempre, marami pang iba, no? But most of this you will learn on the job. But these are the four key things that you should really focus on at the very beginning. Know the journalists, add a personal touch, use interesting and engaging language, and when you can, create a chat room. Again, preferably on Viber. Using social media for government offices is still largely considered to be a novelty. Iilang government agencies lang talaga ang gumagamit ng social media with any sort of regularity, no? Thinking about MMDA and of course COMELEC. COMELEC was one of the very first government agencies to actually use social media actively as a means to reach out and to promote interactivity with its clientele. But social media can be a little tricky. I have 5 tips for you on how to best navigate social media. The first, obviously, is you have to use the right platform for the right reasons. Marami kasi ang social media. You have the most obvious, what people know about is Facebook. Okay? You have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have YouTube, and others, right? But each platform will have its own strengths and own weaknesses. For instance, on Twitter, you're very limited in the number of characters that you can write on a tweet, no? It's called a micro-blogging site for that reason. Konting-konti lang ang mailalagay mo. So, Twitter is useful for a particular kind of communication strategy. Ito yung tipong if you want to catch their attention for something, then a tweet would be a good way to do it because number one, madaling gawin. Number two, it provides bite-sized information that is very easy to digest. However, if you have a longer story to tell, if you have more pictures that you want to show, then maybe you might want to consider using Facebook. Ang Facebook, magandang platform din yan, pero it's longer form, no, than Twitter. Twitter kasi, again, kakarampot lang na information. But with Facebook, you can have a longer note and you can put more pictures in there. And then if there's something that you want to explain, that you need to explain, na medyo you need even more time, then perhaps you might consider using YouTube. YouTube is very important because it provides a visual reference for what you're saying. Many times, especially in the last few months, mula na nagsimula ang pandemic, people have been starting to favor video over written text, no? Kasi sa video, you can show someone something. Hindi mo na ikikwento lang, no? Think, for example, you need to instruct someone on how to fill up a form, right? Just think about that for a while. Paano ko siya tuturuan paano mag-fill up ng, say, registration form? Ikikwento ko ba? O isulat mo yung pangalan mo, may linya dyan kung saan nakasulat yung last name, first name, and then middle initial. Sulat mo yan. Is it easier for you to describe the document or to just show it on camera and then fill it up as you're talking over your actions? Ay di ba mas madali, mas effective yung communication kung YouTube video ang gagamitin mo? That's because you used video. So, basic lesson, use the right platform for the right reasons. Piliin mo kung ano yung gagamitin mong platform, kung Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or whatever, base doon sa gusto mong mangyaring outcome, no? What your communication goals are. Number 2, please consider your intended audience. You have to know where to reach them and how to talk to them. If, let's say, your audience is young people, then it's very likely that you'll want to give them something that is visual, very graphic, and then kung may text man, that the text should be funny. Okay? One example of this recently, for instance, is that the COMELEC has been starting to use TikTok. And the reason for that being, ang profile ng TikTok users matches the profile of the people na gusto naming abutin para hikayating magparehistro. Okay? Yung mga nagti-TikTok, nakikita natin na ang edad nila nagre-range from 16 to 35, for instance. Ito yung mga taong gusto natin magparehistro eh. Okay? So, paano natin sila aabutin? Hindi naman sila masyado nag-Twitter, hindi sila masyado nag-Facebook na kasi feeling nila yung Facebook pang matatanda. So, nasan sila? Nasa TikTok. So, punta kami ng TikTok. So, kami rin, nagti-TikTok rin kami. Now, kung gagawin namin ng TikTok na parang Twitter or parang Facebook, di ang boring nun, no? Maglalabas kami ng press release sa TikTok. Can you imagine? May magbabasa ba nun? Wala. So, we have to find a way to communicate to the audience on the platform that the audience prefers and in the language that the audience gets. So you have to know where to reach them and how to talk to them. Number 3, you have to be sociable. Social media is, after all, social. Ibig sabihin, dapat friendly ka dyan. You've heard of the saying that radio is the hot medium. It's the medium that allows you to be angry, that allows you to be passionate, that allows you to be very forceful in your delivery of your message. Kasi radyo. Kasi nadidinig ka lang. So, ang lakas ng impact pag ikaw ay talagang passionate, no? Fiery. On the other hand, TV is cool. Kasi sa TV, pag pakita mo yung passion mo, magmumukha kang crazy, magmumukha kang galit. Diba? And that turns people off. So, the saying is that radio is hot, it's a hot medium, and TV is a cool medium. You all know the story of Richard Nixon versus John F. Kennedy, di ba? Doon sa debate nila. John F. Kennedy and Nixon debated in the run-up to the presidential elections, and the people who gave their opinion about the debate were split. The people who only saw it on TV thought that JFK won. And the reason for that was si Nixon pawis, nakakunot ang noo, galit. So, people felt na, ay, natalo siya ni JFK kasi si JFK cool and collected lang, relax lang siyang ganyan. Pero yung mga nakinig lang sa radyo, ang kanilang paniniwala ay nanalo si Nixon. Kasi si Nixon yung forceful mag-deliver. Si Nixon yung malakas magsalita. Si Nixon yung talagang pam 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 ang punto, no? So radio is hot and TV is cool. Paano naman ang social media? Ang social media warm. Okay? Ang social media warm. Paano ibig sabihin ng warm? Ibig sabihin ng warm parang niyayakap ka ba? Parang ang sweet, no? Kasi ganyan ang social media. Ang social media it's more of nakikinig ako sa iyo, makinig ka rin sa akin, mag-agree tayo. So, hindi siya palaban, hindi rin siya pakul, dun siya sa gitna. Okay? Gitnang-gitna siya. Medyo nasa Goldilocks zone siya, ibig sabihin, no? Not too hot, not too cold, just right. So social is a warm medium. It's a medium that predisposes to feelings of being enfolded, no? Kaya yung emoji, yung nakayakap, yung smiley face sa heart. Parang ganoon. Isipin mo, yun ang peg mo ngayon. Be sociable, maging friendly ka. Okay? So radio is hot, TV is cool, social is warm. Number 4, you have to invest time and effort into your social media channels. Isa sa pinaka-common na naririnig namin sa Comelec is people saying na, "Ako, hindi ko kailangan ng pera kasi may social media and mangangampanya na lang ako sa social media." This is a misconception that social media is an easy place to get into. If you open up or if you start a Twitter account now, you will have 0 followers, which means 0 people will hear what you have to say. Ganun din ang Facebook, ganun din ang YouTube. Mag-start ka ng account, mag-start ka ng channel mo. Sinong manonood niyan kung wala namang nakakaalam, right? So, you have to invest time and effort into building your social media channel, which means you have to make a conscious and deliberate effort to put that channel out there, no? Ipakilala mo yung channel mo na yan, ipakilala mo yung account mo. So kunyari i-interviewin kayo, always make it a point that before you end the interview, mabanggit ninyo yung inyong social media channel. Kami sa Comelec, palagi namin ginagawa niyan. Yung mga posters namin, for example, sa baba, palaging nakalagay ang aming social media channels. At Comelec, halimbawa, for Twitter. Facebook.com/ComelecPH for Facebook. So, meron kaming palaging notice yan sa mga printed materials namin. Sa mga interview namin, sinasabi din namin yan. O, kung may karagdagan tanong, punta lang kayo sa aming Twitter account sa @Comelec. So, when you put in the reminder about your social media channel that way, then eventually papasok yan sa kamalayan ng mga tao and pupunta sila dyan. Pag pumunta sila sa channel mo, nakita nila maganda ang laman, then they will follow you and lalaki yan. In this way, magkakaroon ka ng effective social media channel. And that's because you invested time and effort into growing it. And finally, please promote interactions through your social media channels. Communicate with people. Huwag niyo silang dadakdakan lang, no? One of the biggest mistakes that many information offices do sa iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno is that they have a huge channel, meron silang Facebook, meron silang Twitter, pero ang makikita mo lang doon sa channel nila ay puro press release. Kuminsan, picture pa ng press release, no? Tinype nila sa official letterhead, pinicturan, tapos ipinlastar sa social media. Hindi yun social. Okay? Ginawa mo lang bulletin board yung Facebook. Ginawa mo lang bulletin board yung iyong Twitter. Sinasayang mo yung social media. Social media is created for interaction. It was created so that people can tell you what they feel even as you tell them what you feel they should know. Okay? So communication is a two-way street, especially on social media. So make sure that when you do have social media, you use it that way. Promote interaction. Tanong mo sila, what's your opinion on this? Magbigay ka ng parang prompt or sabi mo, magkakaroon tayo ng say malaking event. Pupunta ba kayo? A simple question like that can create interactions on your website and it can push your engagement up, no? One example, naggawa ako ng isang TikTok. I'll show you now. where I say,
Tell me you're a registered voter without telling me you're a registered voter.
okay? So nagtanong ako sa kanila, and as a result, I have more than 13,000 views on that TikTok, no? Nag-viral na yan. So when you're able to create interaction in your posts, then your posts are effective. Kasi kinakausap ka na ng tao ngayon. Believe me, that will create an image in the mind of the public that you are representing a dynamic organization, an organization that is in touch with its audience, that is able to communicate with the audience. And that will make you a very effective social media manager. The biggest thing about misinformation is that it looks believable. When we talk about misleading or false information, ito yung info na pag prinisinta mo sa tao, mukhang kapani-paniwala. So the best thing for you to do when you're running your own campaigns is to make sure that false or misleading information is not allowed to thrive in your channel. Okay? Sabi nga nila, di ba? Tapat mo, linis mo. And it's the same thing with social media. Timeline mo, linis mo. If you find anything appearing on your timeline that is false or that is demonstrably not true or misleading, then you have every right and duty to remove it from your timeline. Don't allow the false or misleading information to pollute your timeline. Number two, teach your audience to be discriminating, no? Make sure na tinuturo mo sa kanila paano mag-identify ng fake news. Marami naman techniques pag-identify ng fake news. Una-una, tignan mo yung headline. Kung yung headline talagang bombastic, talagang scandalous, then yes, malamang fake news niyan. So that's a red flag, and so you look at it more deeply. Hanapin mo yon. Ito bang sinasabi sa headline, makikita ko ba to sa storya mismo? Okay? Remember, people share headlines. So, ibig sabihin, pag yung headline lang ang nakakatch ng attention mo at gusto mo kaagad i-share, then be aware, posibleng fake news yan. So, you have to check for the rest of the story kung tama ba. No? And then number three, check mo yung source. Sometimes yung source ang giveaway dyan. No? Makikita mo kaagad. Kung makikita mo, satirical site pala yung nag-share o kaya kamukha lang na URL ng legit na news source, then chances are fake news yan. Now, kakabit niyan, nung finding out the source is you have to seek out legitimate sources. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa man din nagsisimula ang laban, dapat alam mo na kung sino yung pwedeng pagkatiwalaan. No? So, identify what their site looks like, identify what the URL or the address on top of the website looks like. You have to familiarize yourself with the way they write or the way they present things. That way, when you see something fake, then you'll recognize it. Parang pera, di ba? Ang pera, pag binigyan ka ng fake na pera, hindi ba nagkakaroon ka ng parang kutob na parang fake ito kasi parang hindi ganito yung alam kong itsura ng pera. Parang mali ang kulay or parang masyadong makapal yung papel or parang mapusyaw yung kulay, parang ganyan. The reason you have that intuition that something that you're holding is fake is because you're familiar with the real thing. Na alam mo yung authentic, ano? Kilala mo yung perang hindi bogus. So pag nakakahawa ka ng bogus na pera, kita mo kaagad. Or at least, on alert ka. Ganun din po ang fake news, no? Kung alam mo ang itsura ng totoong news, kung tamang pagre-report, kung alam mo yung paraan ng pagnanalita ng legitimate report, then pag nakakita ka ng fake news, edi marirecognize mo kaagad yan. No? Huwag tayong masyadong magpapaniwala sa mga nakikita natin sa internet. Maraming beses, nalilin lang tayo ng mga nakikita natin sa internet. So, it's not a very trustworthy source na ganun-ganun lang. Pag nakita mo, totoo na. No? Pangalawa, hindi good idea na mag-share ng balita kung hindi ka din naman sure na totoo. One of the most common excuses I hear is people saying, well, I don't know if this is true, but I just want to share it. Kalokohan yan. Because if you're not sure if something is true, then why would you share it? Diba? Kung hindi ka sure na totoo ang isang bagay, huwag mo na lang i-share. Kasi hindi ka naman sure kung totoo. Only share that which you know for sure is accurate and relevant information. And kayo, bilang public information practitioners, inyong responsibility is to make sure na every time maglalabas kayo ng balita, kaya nyong panindigan yung nilabas ninyo. Okay? Many people don't realize this, but the biggest source of fake news or wrong information is you, yourself. Ikaw mismo. Pag nagkamali ka at yung pagkakamali mo ay i-broadcast mo, then ikaw ang pinagsimulan ng fake news. So, while you're careful about the news that you consume, also be very careful about the news that you put out. Okay?